What's going on, beautiful people? It is the CFG, and welcome to the Confident Fat Guy podcast. Before we get started with today's episode, I would like to announce that the CFG podcast has two brand new sponsors, Rise Elite Coaching and Aaron 5 News. Thank you guys so much for trusting in me and supporting the podcast. Rise Elite Coaching provides fitness, nutrition, and life coaching for busy professionals using the RISE method: routine, identity, strength, and execution to create substantial results without burnout. Kai Urban, founder of Rise Elite Coaching, is certified in fitness, nutrition, and behavioral change. For all inquiries, you can contact Kai at riseelitecoaching@outlook.com. And thank you so much, Kai and Rise Elite Coaching, for sponsoring the Confident Fat Guy podcast. And Aaron 5 News. I can't say enough about this young man. He's only 17 years old. He started Aaron 5 News a little over 4 years ago because he wants to make a change. You can find Aaron 5 News on Facebook. Go give him a follow. He is a local news team that is for Indiana. He started in Howard County and surrounding areas, and they're expanding at a fast rate. What Aaron 5 News offers is a platform for businesses to advertise for free. Yes, for free. Aaron 5 News gives monthly shout outs and will promote your business. They are also in need of volunteers for weather reporting, severe weather spotting, city reporting, school news reporter, sports reporter, good news, and positive story reporting. Again, go check out Aaron 5 News on Facebook and let him know that the CFG sent you. He's an incredible young man, and I have the privilege of talking to him quite often. So thank you again, Aaron and Aaron 5 News, for sponsoring the Confident Fat Guy podcast. If you are a business owner to an up and coming business or a thriving business, it doesn't matter, and you want to be advertised on the Confident Fat Guy podcast, it's $10 a month, and you will be featured on every episode of the Confident Fat Guy podcast in the sponsors portion of the podcast, and your business name and logo will be added to my podcast website. If you are interested in sponsoring the Confident Fat Guy podcast, you can contact me at confidentfatguy@yahoo.com. Again, that's confidentfatguy@yahoo.com. If you are interested in supporting the Confident Fat Guy podcast and you would like to be featured on the Confident Fat Guy podcast. I just want to start out by saying disclaimer. The CFG is not a professional. I've never claimed to be a professional, and I never will claim to be a professional. My podcast is from my experiences and my opinions, and that is it. On today's episode, we're going to discuss something that I never thought I would really ever get into full detail of. I've I've kind of talked here and there about it, but we're going to completely go in depth today. Today is going to be a very raw and a very emotional podcast. Not only for me, because it's going to bring back bad memories, but it's a very touchy subject for probably a lot of people. So unfortunately, if this hits home, I am sorry. I feel for you. I know how it feels, but you are not alone. We are not alone. Today we're going to talk about suicide. Why do people choose to take their own life away? Mental illness like depression and anxiety can lead to suicide. Substance use can make people act on suicidal thoughts more impulsively. Feeling hopeless or like a burden can make people think about suicide. Unfortunately, suicide rates have skyrocketed. Last year, over 49,000 cases of suicide was reported. My first introduction to suicide, I was a very young kid, but I remember like it was yesterday. I believe it was either 1990, it was between 92 and 94. My mother worked at a in-home daycare, and she worked with a Mexican family that owned it. Sweet people, and they became family. Uh, the owner's children became like my brothers and sisters. Well, it was during a Christmas party, and the oldest was picking on his sister. I honestly forgot how old Joey was, 12 or 13. And my mother, told him to go to his room, if he was going to act that way. And about 5 to 10 minutes later, there was a thump, and they went and checked on him, and unfortunately, he hung himself upstairs. And mind you, this is a daycare. There's children there. It was so far back. I don't remember how many children were there, but there was a few. And where the playroom was at was facing one of the main roads in town. And I watched the ambulance go by. I watched the fire department go by, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know they were coming there. Um, Soon after that, they loaded all the kids up, and they took us all to a sister daycare, and I was there for hours. It felt like an eternity. And then when my mother finally came and picked me up, she let me know what happened. My mom grieves about that still to this day. And again, that was between 92 and 94. And she still blames herself for that. Unfortunately, the owner has passed away. She passed away years ago. Um, and it was a rough funeral. Um, Growing up, you know, I made some really bad decisions. About suicide. I always thought suicide was the chicken way out until I got older. Because, going through school, I lost friends to suicide. Um, and I didn't really. To me, it was like, nothing is so bad that you have to take your life. And to that part, I still think there's nothing in this world that is worth ending your life. There really isn't. But, you know, when me and my daughter's mom split, I at that time I was an alcoholic, and I I tried to commit suicide. Thank God at the time my best friend was living with me, and he stopped it from happening. I had about a 6-inch cut on my neck. We collected samurai swords, and I drank vodka for the first time. And I vaguely remember the situation, but talking to my former best friend about it, I guess he was walking out of the shower to go change, and I crawled over to where all our swords was, and I took it to my neck, and right when I was getting ready to swipe, he got my arm. Um, but it did leave about a 6-inch cut on my neck, nothing too deep. Um, and I remember vaguely just crying to him, even though I was obliterated. Um, he saved my life that day, and my outlook on suicide changed dramatically. I understood it a little bit better. Um, and that's not the only time. with me dealing with mental health, that was the first time I attempted it, but it wasn't the last time that I thought about it. But a lot of things that stopped me were my kids, man. I couldn't leave them. And that was the biggest reason why I never did it. And now there are so many people that are lost, that don't know who to turn to, that are struggling with depression and anxiety and substance abuse. It's and people are going left and right, unfortunately. It, this is a sad episode, and I honestly really didn't want to make this episode, but I told you guys in the beginning of season 2 that I was going to be more raw and more open, and you can't be more open than this. And it's a plague. It honestly is. I'm going to say this quite a bit. There is nothing that is going on in your life that is worth ending it, because really you're not taking away the pain, you're just pushing it on somebody else. It's I'm trying not to get emotional, um because there's so many people that have lost family members, friends, coworkers, classmates to suicide. And it's one of the most saddest parts of reality, is that someone's hurting so bad, or somebody is drugged up so bad that they have no other choice in their mind but to take their own life. And I hate death. Like, I really do. Death sucks to me. I mean, I get it. It's life, it's a revolving door. You're born, you live your life, and then you pass on. I hate it. Natural death, I understand, but suicide, gun violence, murder, I hate it. I hate death. That's that's probably my biggest ick about life, is death. And I when I first started the Confident Fat Guy podcast, I always said I would never talk about religion, and I would never talk about drug use, because or politics. I will never talk about politics. Um I have a different outlook on religion. No, I'm not saying satanic. I'm not anything like that. I believe there's a higher power. A part of me believes in reincarnation. Um, and I've never been a drug user, so I'm not too familiar with it. I mean, I have friends that have struggled, but I haven't really got in depth with it. Maybe one time, maybe. I've got a really couple good friends that overcame it and are now doing great. Maybe, there will be a time where I'll talk to them and see if they wouldn't mind sharing their stories. And maybe that might help one of you that's going through the same thing. And politics, I will absolutely never talk about politics on my show. I will never talk politics in person with somebody. This world right now is so messed up. It's People are dying. It's crazy. Like, this is probably one of the worst times in my 39 years of existing that this world has gotten this bad. and it's so retarded. It really is. Honestly, I don't care if you're on the left side, if you're on the right side, if you're white, black, Chinese, Japanese. I just don't care. Like, people fight so much on the left side and the right side, and now people are dying. Literally, people are dying on the streets. It's stupid. It really is. But that's not what this episode's about. I'm sorry I got caught off track. It just irritates irritates the hell out of me on how divided this country is, and how people are feeling, and how everything in this world right now, people are dying. People are financially struggling. People are homeless. People are jobless. And they either take their own lives because they can't deal with it anymore, or they become an alcoholic and take their life because to them that's the only solution. There is plenty of help out there. I just wish that people that are in this situation would gather the courage to ask for help. And that is the hardest part. Absolutely the hardest part is asking for help. It was hard for me. I just thought I didn't really realize there was something wrong with me. Yeah, I knew I hated life. I hated people. I hated myself. Eh, I was very down on myself. I am not a skinny dude. I'm not an overweight dude. I am 250 something pounds. But yeah, I body shamed myself all the time, you know? I don't like to talk to girls just because of the way I look. Like, who's gonna want me? Like, but and that is another reason why I created the Confident Fat Guy podcast. Was we have to get out of this body shaming. We have to get, like, people are walking around with their heads up their asses, pardon my language. They are so snobby, so stuck up. They are God's gift to human life. And that is why people are in these depressed states, because bullying. And bullying is another reason why we have suicide. There are so many kids, and I do apologize. I tried to look up some stats. I wanted to be so prepared for this, but looking all this stuff up that I wanted to talk about, it hurt and it crushed my heart. And I I stopped because honestly, I didn't really want to know the statistics. I've had my ex-wife's sister lost her son at 14 years old because of bullying. There are people, there are children in schools right now that are contemplating suicide because of bullying. How is that right? You give me one good reason why that's right. Is it bad parenting? Is it a complex issue? What is it? Why is it okay for you to let your children go to school and bully another person? Why? Because he doesn't wear the name brand shoes that you do? He doesn't wear the name brand clothing that you do? Is it because your parents are financially stable that they can just give you whatever you want? What is it? It's not right. There are families right now that cannot buy their children name brand clothes, name brand shoes. Hell, some people can barely freaking eat. Some of these kids, their only meals are school meals. Their only clothes are hand me downs. People are struggling and people are ending their lives because of it. Children, and this is what kills me most, are ending their life because of bullying. Whether it's online, whether it's in person, we got to stop. You got to teach your kids better. And if this episode ticks you off, no regrets. Honestly, you need to do better as a parent. Or, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and you don't know about it. But it's got to stop. We have got to talk to our children about bullying. Children are our future. And we are losing way too many children, whether it's ODs, suicide, gun violence. It's got to stop. It really does. There is it's just crazy. It really is. Again, I didn't really want to make this episode because it angers me. Death angers me. Suicide angers me. Because there's not enough people that will stand up and help these struggling people. And for the people that are struggling, please listen to me. You are not alone. And I'm going to say this, and I say this all the time. You are not alone. You are not the only one that's struggling. But there's nothing that is going on in your life that is worth ending it. Everything will be okay. You will make it. You will survive. Just don't make any bad decisions. Rise above it. Ask for help. If you or someone else that you know is struggling with mental illness and suicidal thoughts, please contact 988. Again, contact 988 for the suicide and crisis hotline. We've got to do better. That's all there is to it. We've got to come together and we've got to fight mental illness and we've got to fight alcoholism and substance abuse. We've got to overcome it. Don't be that person that sees someone struggling and is like, oh, that's not my problem. You could be that one person that makes a difference. Remember that. Thank you again for Rise Elite Coaching and Aaron Fox News for supporting the Confident Fat Guy podcast. You can check out Rise Elite Coaching on Instagram. And for any inquiries, again, you can contact Kai at Rise Elite Coaching at Outlook.com and go check out Aaron 5 News on Facebook. Give him a follow, show him support because he will support you. And again, if you are interested in supporting the Confident Fat Guy podcast, you can contact me at confidentfatguy@yahoo.com. Thank you so much for joining me. I know this episode really wasn't the best one. Um, I knew it wasn't going to be. I knew it was going to be very emotional for me. I knew it was going to spark feelings and anger, and I I wanted to get out as much as I could without overdoing it and just rambling, because I could talk about suicide all day long. Always remember, your life matters. Love yourself, love each other, conquer your dreams, and crush your goals. I will see you guys next time.